How's it going, YouTube? Jamie the Kid 00 here, coming to you guys with a deck profile that I know you've been asking for ages. I finally got around to building Nimble fish. This is going to be Nimble Lemuria fish, and I really quite enjoy playing this deck. I tested it on Dueling Hour for ages. I had the cards for ages, and I just never built it. And we had a fun locals on Sunday, so I figured I'd actually get around to building it. I should probably explain before I get into the list. While the main deck is quite efficient, the extra deck is incredibly trollsy, and it was built literally while I was there because I was looking through my binder and going, "Oh, that's awesome! I can make that. I'll play it." So take the extra deck with a pinch of salt. But this main deck is pretty sound, pretty well tested, and I quite enjoy playing it. I'll try and include some plays, but I might forget to put them in the video. But the plays in this deck are fairly basic. They're fairly substandard. You just get Lemuria, make big amounts of little fish, Xyz for big things, win. Either way, let's get into the profile because I'm just rambling and bad things happen when I ramble, let's be honest. So we're going to start things off with triple Nimble Sunfish. Nimble Sunfish is basically the best settable card in the deck. You set this guy, when he gets run over in battle, he's going to ditch a fish from the deck and get another copy of himself to the board. And the fish you are going to be ditching is 3 copies of Nimble Angler. So let's talk about Nimble Angler. When he is sent from the deck or hand to the graveyard, you can special summon 2 Nimble monsters from your deck. Sorry, that are level 2. So 2 level 3 or lower Nimble monsters. I haven't actually read it, I just knew what it did for the combo. 2 level 3 or lower Nimble monsters from your deck. So when you send this guy with Nimble Sunfish, he's going to get you 2 more Nimbles. And the Nimbles you're going to be searching out are the 3 copies of Nimble Manta that you play. Now, Nimble Manta is probably the worst card in this deck. It's great because of Angler, because you go Sunfish, ditch Angler, get a Sunfish, get 2 Mantas, so you have 3 level 2s on board. But the downside is it is almost a dead draw if you draw it. Its effect is completely irrelevant. It has 800 attack, 100 defense, and unless you have Moray of Greed in hand, it is completely dead. But this is your Lemuria engine. This will make you all of your level 7 or below Xyz. You can make 7s, 6s, 5s, or 4s with these plays. Whatever you want to do, you can make it. So all you need is Lemuria plus this. So it's a good engine, but there's so many little things. So I found out on the weekend it loses to Vanity's Fiend hard, which is sad. And then the last little fish this deck plays is Fishbowl Planter, because if you run out of anglers, or if you would send an angler but you have no mantas and not enough targets in deck, you can at least send a planter. Try an Avarice, then if you don't wait for Avarice, you can send the planter, mill the top card if it is a water, get your planter out and Xyz for a 4 if you have Lemuria, or a Gachi if you don't have Lemuria. So I mean it's good, but it's more of a last ditch attempt play. So that is our little fish engine. For the added waters, because of course the fish aren't going to be off on their own, we play an added frog engine. So the deck plays 3 copies of Swap Frog. Swap Frog is awesome because if you have Swap Frog Angler in hand, you can put out Swap Frog, ditch the Angler, get double Manta, Lemuria, make them all level 5 because you have 3 guys on board, then bounce this guy to hand and Xyz for a Tyrus. So crazy plays, crazy plays. Then to find those Swap Frogs, because they are quite integral, we play double Dupe Frog. And then we play 1 Ronin Toadin to round off the frogs. This deck doesn't play Treeborn because you play the field spell, and ideally you want to keep the field spell on board. So, yeah, you don't play Treeborn in this. I mean, you can, but it's going to be very inconsistent. It's going to clog. Then for the boss monsters deck, we play 1 copy of Super Ancient Deep Sea King Coelacanth. This guy is basically Nimble Angler on crack. So you play this guy so that you can bring out your Ronin from the grave and special summon a swap from your hand using your various effects. Or you can use the Nimble Sunfish play to get Mantas and tribute the Mantas. You're then going to bring this guy out. You're going to use this effect, which is you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard and special summon as many fish from your deck as you like. So depending on what you still have in deck, you're going to have Coelacanth, and then you're going to go Special Planter, Special Manta, Special Manta, Special Manta. You're going to have 5 waters on field. You're then going to go ahead and play Lemuria, make all of these level 7 and this level stupid, and then go Xyz for Big Eye and Xyz for Abyssgaios. So you've got Big Eye, Abyssgaios, Coelacanth on board, which is like near 8k, I believe, or over 8k. So that's an OTK right there, if your opponent doesn't have a board. And even if they have a board, you're still going to deal like nearly 6k and steal their monster with Big Eye. So big fish. Coelacanth, the big fish. And then 2 of the trollsiest boss monster in the deck. Double Leviathan Dragon, Daedalus. Now, if your opponent has a big board, and you've used your Xyzes, or you're going to have trouble getting over that board with your Xyz plays that you can make off your Nimbles, you get your Nimbles out, then you summon this guy, you tribute summon this, play your Lemuria, kill your Lemuria, and this guy's effect is, you can send 1 face-up Yuumi, and Lemuria counts as Yuumi, to your graveyard, destroy all cards on the field other than this. So this guy dark holes the whole field. It's so good. Otherwise, so much else I want to say about this card. It's really easy to bring out, really easy to summon. Literally all you need is a Ronin engrave and a Swap Frog in hand to special summon, or your Nimble play, and you will get this out, and it's so good. And if you have Daedalus, or Daedalus and Big Fish on board, you can Lemuria, make these guys level 9, and Xyz for Dyson Sphere, which I never actually made, but the ability to make Dyson Sphere in this deck is there. You can do it. Then for hand traps, we played double Tragodia to stop us getting OTK'd. No Gores, no Maxis, no Veilers, because you don't want to Maxi into your Mantas, and Veilers just didn't really work for me. So double Trag was really nice. Again, it can copy any of the levels of the stuff I have engraved. It's great to special summon out and then tribute off for stuff. And it's just incredibly versatile in this deck. I'd definitely play double Trag. And then supporting these double Trags, we played double Exodius, the ultimate Forbidden Lord. Now this card is an awesome tech in this deck. Basically, Exodius, you special summon him, and as part of his summoning condition, not his effect, he returns all monsters in your graveyard to your deck. So he avarices all your stuff back. Now this is important because your deck really runs out of resources very quickly. Because to make your plays, you're going to put loads of monsters on board, and you really don't play that many of them in the main deck. And once you've used, you can do like an Angler play twice, but once you played Angler twice, that's it. You run out of plays. So you can go Exodius, put everything back. And then a really interesting play is, the way I got out most of my boss monsters, like Daedalus, I would usually special summon the Ronin by banishing a frog, special summon this, return everything but the Ronin which is on board, then tribute summon for Daedalus. Of course, this is removed from play, Ronin goes back to the graveyard, and I get to nuke my opponent's board. Also, another trollsiy card, which I was borrowing, but I don't have it in this extra deck anymore. I was playing the big motherfucking cannon, Gustav Max, so that I could go Tragodia in my opponent's turn, then Exodius and Xyz. And you'll also see that there's another really trollsiy card in this deck that I play, which can make you incredible plays. But Exodius, really good in this deck. Really good tribute fodder, really good as a second and third Avarice. I wish we had 3 Avarice in this deck. Then for the spells, the spell lineup is pretty standard, but there's some really fun stuff at the end. So we play the Trinity of Reborn, Darkhold, Storm. You've got to play these 3 because you want your plays to go through. Double MST to kill Macro, long story short, because this deck will lose instantly to Macro. You can't play around Macro or Fissure. Then we play double Duality to get to our combo pieces and find our Mores of Greed when we have loads of Nimble Mantas in hand, which is always tragic. I remember I duality'd into an Avarice, which then Avariced me into a Dark Hole, which won me that game at one point, which was really crazy. Speaking of Avarice, we do play Avarice in this deck, and that rounds off kind of the generic stuff that we play in the spell lineup. Then we're going to play 3 of the MVP spell, Lemuria, the Forgotten City. Lemuria's effect, and I'm going to have to read this out, is, if I don't drop it, this card's name is treated as Yuumi, so that's where your Daedalus comes in. All water monsters gain 200 attack and defense, so it makes your big fish 3k, and all sorts of things a little bit stronger. That 200 attack boost makes a big difference, trust me. But the best effect in it is, once per turn, during your main phase, you can have all water monsters you currently control gain levels equal to the number of water monsters you currently control until the end phase. So say you had 3 water monsters out and they're all level 2, they all gain 3 levels and they all become level 5. So you can make Dig Vorzak in this deck, the YCS prize card. So this deck makes me want to win a YCS so that I can play Dig Vorzak, because I legitimately play Dig Vorzak in this deck. But Lemuria is the best card in this deck. It makes all your big Xyz plays possible. It's just so incredible. And then we play double Terraforming to try and find it, because there aren't any specific monsters that let you search it, like Warrior of Atlantis for the Forgotten Ocean and things like that. Then for the last few traps we play 3 Mores of Greed, because if you draw into your Nimblefish, you just really want to put Mac. You do not want to have your Nimblefish in hand, or your Ronins and things like that. You want to just put them straight back, and this card isn't even a neg one. You just get to draw 3 back when you play it anyway, so good. So good for filtering stuff back out of your hand. I mean, you can ditch stuff to special summon swap frog, but you really don't want to, because you want those mantas to be live in the deck for the angler plays. And then the final card we play is Galaxy Queen's Light, because as you saw earlier, we're playing level 10s, and we're playing level 7s. So we can make the entire board level 7 without the need for Lemuria, and we can also make the entire board level 10 and go into Galaxy Destroyer and Gustav Max, which is 8k plus 2k burn damage. So, do the math, guys. That's pretty crazy. Galaxy Queen's Light plus loads of Nimble Fish plus Exodius equals game. So, that's quite nice. Right, let's go into the extra deck. This extra deck, as I said before, is quite trollsy. It's also 14 cards because there should be a Gustav Max in here. But you guys won't listen and you'll still go, why is there only 14 cards? So let's talk about the extra deck for the 2s. The 2s we play are Daigusto Phoenix and Gachigantetsu. I would play a Dark Mist, but I simply don't have one. There should be one in here, but I just don't have one. So change something out for a Dark Mist if you want. Dark Mist would be good if you don't have your Lemuria, or your Lemuria gets MST'd. But these 2 cards do the job. We play 1/3 in the form of Acid Golem. You never go into 3s, really. You only ever go into 4s. So Acid Golem is there as an option. I don't think you'll ever make him, but he's there, as I said, as an option. Then we play 2 4s in the form of Mace Stroke, because Mace Stroke is amazing, and Abyss Dweller, because Abyss Dweller makes all your water monsters bigger, so you can be running around with Lemuria on the board. This will be 2/4, and all your Nimble Mantas on board will be 1/5 if you have Lemuria. So you can do some quite big pokey damage if you do that. So Abyss Dweller is quite handy for that. For the 5s, we play Tyrus and Adreus. 5s are probably the number you're going to go into the most. I made Tyrus almost every other game off of the Nimble Sunfish play or the Swap Frog play that I explained earlier. So these cards are really, really good in the deck. 6s, you make 6s occasionally, but not that much. We play Swordbreaker and Photo Strike Bouncer. To make 6s, you're going to need 4 fish on board. So I don't know. I didn't actually make either of these, but in testing on Dueling Network, I have made them. We play 3 7s in the form of Gaia because we want to make our dead Tyruses live and things like that. It just makes all of our dead rank 5s live. Big Eye, because I explained earlier, Big Eye is game, and Big Eye is amazing. And then Mermail Abyss Gaius, which is awesome, because you can make a skill drain in this deck. Abyss Gaius turns himself into a human skill drain, so why not? Then there should be a Heliopolis in here, but I cut it because I never made it. So you could play Heliopolis, but we don't actually play any rank 8s. Instead we play a couple of Trollsy cards. For our rank 9s, we play one number 9 Dyson Sphere. I never actually made this, but God knows I wanted to get that play off really bad. I never had an opportunity to summon 2 big fish, but if I ever do, this card will come out and it will be a glorious day. So one day I'll make Dyson Sphere. And the last card in the extra deck is Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer. So guys, that has been my Nimblefish deck profile. I hope you've enjoyed. I definitely had a lot of fun building, testing, and running this deck. It is a lot of fun. It's definitely not competitive, but it does do some really trollsy plays, can really slip some people up. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching this. This has been Jamie the Kid 00. I'll see you next time. Bye.